people have to be made to feel uncomfortable, and especially white people, because we're comfortable. We still have no clue of what being born white means. And if you read some of the, recent literature, you'll realize it really is no such thing as whiteness. But we've kind of made it up. That's not my original thought, but it's true. And it's hard to sit down and decide that, yes, it's like you're at the 50-meter mark in a 100-meter dash. And you got that kind of a lead. Yes, because you were born white, you have advantages that are systemically, culturally, psychologically there. And they have been built up and cemented for hundreds of years. It doesn't matter.
So Jack Popovich, just next level, and I've got like 20 similar clips.
Where is he getting this stuff?
It's only going to get worse and worse, where you just run around and go, I'm sorry, I'm evil, kill us, stab us, murder us, whites are inherently evil. You have like this head of the vaccine program in Texas is down at the event, and she says, we need to just kill all the white people. And she's a white lady, and it's Hillary. Well, white people voted for Trump. They're the problem. Just the same white folks that voted for Obama. I mean, it's just crazy. Where's this going?
And you realize that there are sources of information that are beyond what we're seeing on mainstream. Wherever this guy is drawing this stuff from, there's no such thing as whiteness, and the whiteness have been oppressing people for years, and it's systematic. You're not hearing that on CNN. You're not hearing that from mainstream sources. So there's other sources, higher level stuff that's getting to this guy. There's higher level sources that are being worked on these people that are essentially trying to flame this up because they know that these people are influential. They know they're influential because of their platforms through sports, through entertainment, through other parts of the media, so that they can then push that message out and fan these flames of identity politics, fan these flames of actual racism, because they're looking to push forward this. Or they knew, the Russians talked about this back in the 1970s, even before then. They knew that America's fault lines were on race. You fan those flames, you try to divide Americans on those racial lines, and you're just going to get chaos in the United States.
And the Soviets would do it in Latin America according to tribal lines. Or they would do it in Ukraine according to Orthodox versus Catholic. They would do it in the Middle East, Shiite versus Sunni, and they wrote big concordance documents on how to politically control. It's called cultural Marxism, and it's being carried out and taught at colleges now. And I just had Ron Paul on saying the NFL is cultural Marxism. But notice, they've invaded everywhere with politics beating us over the head. Don't they get we've developed an allergy, that we're rejecting it, that it's not working?
Yeah, that's what they don't get. And that is the amazing thing about the American people, is the fact that they know inherently, Alex, that you do stand up for the American flag. You do stand up for the anthem. You do stand up for your country.
Well, yeah, we're not North Korea. It's our country. We pay taxes to it. It's our ancestors. And it's what are we giving it up for? Globalism? Totally ruthless companies that literally own slave factories that are the worst? The more liberal the company, the more hellish their facilities are.
And we saw this under the Obama administration, him working closer and closer with the NFL. They had the Ravens were involved in the Obamacare rollout. You think about this.
This is the Obamification, the George Sorosization of the NFL, and it's now used toilet paper.
Yeah, it's by design. It's by design that they would use this because they know the power of the entertainment. They know the power of the celebrity, the athlete, is someone that you're going to listen to. They used to do this with the rock singers during Vietnam, during all that time. They used to do it with other areas of entertainment. Now they're using it with athletes. We're also seeing Jimmy Kimmel, John Oliver, all these guys are spouting off about, well, this is what we need for the FCC, and this is what we need for net neutrality, and this is what we need for healthcare. And then suddenly they say, wait a minute.
And let's be clear. It comes directly out of the CIA, the Ford Foundation at the top. There are good people inside government agencies that are fighting this. That's what we're seeing is a deep state civil war. But now they're activating the shadow government that is controlled by the bad guys, that controls the deep state, to try to bring in some type of hard coup against the president. What do you think they're going to launch next?
I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more people, an over-politicization of America. We're going to see people outside of sports. Now this is leaking over to the baseball. It's leaking over to hockey. It's leaking over to NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he wanted to be in solidarity with these guys. And so people are going to...
Because their bosses are saying conservatives won't punish you. They don't care, but liberals will love you, virtue signal to them, and then the mainstream media will say you're good. No, Dale Earnhardt Jr., you're an idiot. You're going to be hated by your core fans forever. And the numbers show it, but they're still committing political suicide. Why?
Because it's a program. Because it's a program. And they know that it's not going to
be ordered
overnight. They know that it's a conditioning.
It's a nudging. It's a force feeding.
It's then going to move to advertisers. Look for Coca-Cola. Look for Pepsi. Look for these big, major advertisers.
To give them major endorsements. It's a payoff.
To start to go for all of this.
Take the one Army Ranger veteran. I don't want to say his name now because I don't want to disgrace his family. He was wonderful getting up during the anthem and saying, I'm not going to be part of this. And then they basically threatened to fire him. He now says he's ashamed. He agrees with it all. Basically, you know, America's bad. Stick with the players. So it shows the bullying of this cult.
Hey, you talk about North Korea. This is like a video that North Korea would make somebody like that student or somebody else give after you've been kidnapped by North Korea. That didn't...
Exactly.
You knew what that guy was standing. You could see in his eyes that he was standing for his country. He was standing for the fallen soldiers that he served with, wounded veterans he talked about. That's why. And
they told him, your $5 million a year contract's over unless you get out there and say, piss on America.
And that reminded me of something that you'd see. Go back. We've talked about this before, Alex. Chinese Cultural Revolution. This is exactly what they made.
When you go to the universities, they say, we're executing the Mao model. That's what the Ford Foundation is executing. Right. Of all the communist flavors, that's what we're having executed, with the Chi-Coms rolling in with funding of all 6 major movie production companies.
Yeah, so the actual funding is even coming from China. A lot of this is overt. A lot of people see this. Hollywood movies today, and for the past 10 years, it's been ratcheting up and ratcheting up. It's always China, and suddenly China is more helpful in the films. And then you're seeing, too, if you go back, look and study the Chinese Cultural Revolution. These ideas of toppling your monuments, destroying your own history. History doesn't matter because we have progress now. We don't need history anymore because we're better.